Hi there. Someone recently has asked me to do tactics on this chess channel that I operate. And so I thought the good way to do that is I don't have to set up all the positions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go random without signing in to leadchess.org and to do some anonymously the chess puzzles. So I'll see how many I can get right. Uh, Very important in chess is always to follow such people or ladies in chess that are woman grandmaster Susan Polgar, to look before you move and ask yourself the question, why is my opponent playing this move? Because that's something I have a lot of difficulty with. Okay, so I hope you like this session and I hope I perform okay. And here we go, let's jump into some puzzles with me anonymously so no one can see what we're up to. So I hope this works. Let's have a look. Let's go to puzzles and just open them up. But it might remember me from, yeah, it does. It remembers me from, so you can see that I've already done some. I tried to refresh it, but the computer's remembering where I was. So white has just played rook e to c3. So what's our best continuation here for black? I wish it wouldn't have done that because now I have to start off real hard. And so I'm thinking, what are you thinking? Rook c5? Are you thinking of it's upside down because we're black? What are you thinking here for black? The next move, what do you think's best? And I've just accidentally just earned 18 or 19 points on top of my rating already for chess puzzles. So here, black's sort of threatened with some checks here, at least a lot of them, with this rook here. This rook's threatening to just go here, 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 etc. checking. I think that's my opinion. So I'll just be quiet for a second, just so you can ponder this position. So I think that the first move is this. I might be wrong. And then e3, and that's the end of that one. Now we continue training. I'm just going to, I could fix that. But I'll just keep going like this way. Now, queen e7 from the queen h7 check. So what can we see here? We're going this way, aren't we? We're going this way. So this is simple. So I'm just going to be quiet. Can you work out white's next move? And of course I've already sort of shown it, but it isn't G7 here. It isn't G7 here. As bishop takes queen, and then if white plays G8, then it's just bishop takes queen, or bishop takes promoted piece. And if it's king takes, then black can merely just go queen G7 and C4 to C1. Okay, so we're moving to the next one. So we're going to go queen takes queen here first, and then here is check, and we're going to go queen, please. and continue training. I hope you saw that one. Endgames are very important, and so are now this one. I will be quiet for I won't touch the board. I've already seen what the next move is for black. Can you find the move for black here in this position after c2 to c4's move from white? So here I believe the next move is a wee bit elementary there, dear Watson. Okay, so you ready for it? Rook here. And then queen. Get a queen. If we make it a bishop or a knight, it's going to go beep. And so that we have to be sort of like a wee bit careful of that. So next problem, so that's check. And most players should be able to win that position. Without too much hassle. Dave. Okay, next problem is knight is attacked on b5. And can I do that on the same thing? Can I? Oh, good. I don't want to move it though. So what do we do now? This is, I'll give you a clue. This is to do with a piece is protecting another piece. So what's the next move? It's very elementary. It's knight d6 check, bishop takes knight. Continue training. Now, we have a wee one here that I'm sure you can see. It's pretty easy to see it. If I can see it, then you can too. So it's sort of like pretty obvious, and it occurs a lot over the board. So of course we have knight here, knight f6 check, which this is pinned, and because the pawn couldn't capture, and then we have knight takes queen. Next one we have is here, reminds me of the position with Marshall. Now black has just played bishop g4, so what's your move now? I'll just be quiet for 2 seconds. And so this is getting a wee bit more difficult, but not really, because I've just noticed that. So we're going to take this first, are we? And then I was looking at queen f2 here. That was making me wonder a wee bit, but I don't think it's going to go very far, as the queen can come back to f3, I think, and defend if it so wishes. Can it go to f3, or where's the queen? It's on g4. Okay, next one. King e2. So we're being anonymous here. And this is, I suppose it's a B grade problem. It's not immediately easy to find something really decisive, but this one is, isn't it? So you ready for this one? What do you think about this one? So it is, of course, pawn. I keep going to the wrong screen. Pawn takes, and then just bishop takes. And here we have a win of a piece. The next one is, this is rather elementary, very thematic. This is a grandmaster who's black, versus 2150. So it's 2497. Some important numbers to someone I know. So it's 2497 rated grandmaster versus 2150 player in a 5-minute blitz. So this is quite thematic. I'm sure you see this move here is queen a5 check and queen takes knight. So here, what is going to happen here, Dave? We're going to want to do something about that bishop, aren't we? So I think we'll just take this first. And that. So that was no good. That was a little bit not too nice for black. And here we have something that's sort of sensible and easy to see straight away. I'm sure you can see it. So black is to move here. What's black going to do with me trying to distract your mind? Which is good for you if I start talking a lot and all that sort of thing. What do we do here? We go queen b1 check and queen takes rook. And we continue on bishop f6. This is a good excuse for me because then I can take a little bit longer over it and not let you know that I can't see the this is getting a wee bit difficult, or is it? So, oh yeah, that's right. I'm looking for black. I'm looking for black here, but it's white's move. Black has just played bishop c3 to f6, bishop f6. So here it's rather elementary actually. So if it's elementary, I'm just going to show you rather than that sort of thing. f5. What's happening here? There's possibility of forks here, so that's the clue. So here it comes. Rook takes rook, knight here, knight takes rook, not bishop. Continue. This is thematic. So the clue is checkmate in 2 moves. I keep trying to get my mouse here. So I hope you saw that. It's, of course, the queen h7 check and rook h4 checkmate. Knight e5. Now this is possibly going to be a loose knight, isn't it? We cannot play just bishop here. Okay, we can't just play bishop here, pinning the knight. That looks quite good. Because knight takes f3 and queen c7 takes f4, leaving black in an advantage almost, except for there is queen b7. So maybe it's something to do with queen b7. So if we take on the e5, if we take e5, then it looks like knight there is forced, if I'm actually on the right track. And then we have a wee discovery, don't we? We have a wee discovery. And if queen takes knight, then we have queen b7, don't we? I think that's what my mind's saying. I'm going to take this knight first anyway. And now I'm going to play this. And I just want to go back on, if knight takes e5, then I think this is quite a promising looking move, isn't it? Because we're threatening the queen as well. So onwards and upwards. Next one. We've just had rook b6 played, David. So what's our excuse for not playing on here? Is there anything sensible? Do we want to play? What is the story? What's going on here? The rook is attacked. Okay, so that's not very nice, is it? So we have to think a little bit more here. So I've worked it out. So I'm going to be quiet for 10 seconds. So we are going to take this here with the c pawn. And black didn't get met with what I thought black would get met with, which is queen takes rook, and then we have knight here. And as you can see, the queen is without scope. No squares to go to other than queen takes rook, check, king f8. Bishop takes, what was that? What did the bishop take? Oh, it took my bishop. That's not very nice. So what's your move here? 5 seconds for this one. I keep looking for the mouse. It is, of course, queen here, check to the king, pawn takes, that's no good. Big material loss for black. Next one, b6. Here we have a simple tactic, and tactics come up a lot. So what is it? So 5 seconds for this one. That was a long 5 seconds, wasn't it? So we've got first this move here, rook to d8 check, and it's a check, so it's always handy. Now knight here, and then knight takes bishop, and knight takes here, wins a piece. Next one is rook d8. This is simple. This is 2 seconds. Sorry about that long wait before, but there was a heavy weight coming through the door. No, I just started to wriggle around with images. I was trying to change the image or bring an image up, but I think you'd rather just not bother with having my image on there. So here's 3 seconds. Is knight e2 check, knight takes, rook takes. And so that's actually even, isn't it? But black's in the better position. Black's winning. Anyway, onwards and upwards. On to the next one. What's happening here, David? What's the brain saying here is good here? I think it's quite elementary. So I'm not giving any time. This is just what I would call a fork or something like that. It's just queen check and queen takes rook. Next one is bishop h5. And you can you see that the king is quite weak, but also there's a big weakness with this move here, bishop to h5. So can you see the instantaneous weakness of bishop h5, which I'm sure white saw? It is, get ready for it, queen check and queen takes bishop. Next one is knight g4. Here it appears that the knight on e3 is pinned. Yes, it is, but not the queen isn't. So queen takes knight, and knight takes queen. And if you don't do that, actually, if you don't do that, David, now, what's the situation here? This is getting a wee bit difficult, but it's still reasonably, relatively simple. So what do you do here with the drunken sailor? I'm going to give you 5 seconds, or you can have as long as you like, of course. You can pause. It is not obviously queen takes queen. Okay, it's not that. It's check, and then check, and then pawn takes. There you go. That's that one. Next one is rook c7, and I'm looking at this as a rook, so I've completely miscalculated there. So what's your follow-up here? Few seconds. I'm always pausing the sound. Is, of course, the horse to knight b5 and knight to d6. Bishop b5. This looks weak, this bishop. Why does it look weak? Okay, instantaneous loss of piece. These happen a lot in chess. I tell you that for a fact. This is getting a little bit harder, isn't it? Because although it isn't really hard, but this is getting harder. And yeah, no, this is a good one. So this is a little bit deeper. So I'm going to pause for 15 seconds. I have seen it, I think. Sorry, so we have simply, what was it now? David. Simply, we have this. Okay, so mental block. That one is final. But it was a tricky one. That was a bit tricky. F4. Now, this is elementary, and I'm not going to spend much time on it. Bishop h3, rook h3. If I don't do that final move, it says, no, not right. It's got no pity. The chess computer has got no pity. No pity whatsoever. I think it's rook g8. Is it rook g8? What's this one? This is getting into the sort of chess I like. This is a win of a piece, at least. But it's probably worse than that. So what do you think? Got to remember to turn the volume back on. Here, white plays knight g5, knight e6. As that was threatening queen check, of course. Now, here is the queen is loose. Does that help us? No, it's got nothing to do with it. So what's the move for white here? is coming up. You ready for it? You ready for it? Knight f6 check. Queen e8 check. Queen f3. As you can see, the queen is checking. And we are going to have to capture this, aren't we? Else, now we take this, and we take this, and we take here, and that's the end of that game. As the pawn just marches now. Now we have a little bit of hostility here going on, isn't there? There's a bit of hostility here. So what do we do now? Obviously the queen is attacked with the bishop, and because that's just been released. So we're going to have to go queen check here first. And then we take this rook. So black's just played bishop e4 from g6. This is, of course, pinning the knight from capturing the queen. So it's instantaneous queen e4, king h3, as that was a move I didn't think of black to play. And the next one is rook c3 to captures. And here, this is good. These are endgames, so endgames are very good to know what to do next, because they can look quite complicated, to be honest. So I'll give you 5 seconds or so. So there you go. I think that this move here and rook capture and king here and king takes. What are we going to do next? We'll just have to wait a wee bit here, David. We're going to go here, there. And if white comes into here, this is a capture, and now what? What's white going to do now? King here. Then we're just going to play here. King here. King here. And now this is going to be similar to the other game, which is just h4 to there, even if the king has to protect it, which it doesn't, because the king's too far out of the box. The king is outside of the 4 square box, the square from Super Grandmaster Nigel Short. The king is 2 squares away, 2 squares away. Continue training. Rook f3, and then what do we have? We have elementary stuff here. Rook f and queen there. Bishop g5. This is another case of not protecting your pieces when they move. So can you work it out fully and that sort of thing? There's a wee trick to this position. So I'm just going to be quiet for 2 seconds. So as you can see, this bishop is defended by the knight. So first things first, we take this. Now there's a wee trick here. Oh, there isn't a trick. The trick was for white to play bishop f6. And then bishop takes bishop. And then if the bishop moves away, we just take this pawn. And if this bishop's taken, then we just take this bishop. So there you go. That was that one. So bishop e2 and bishop f3, and then we got queen takes g5, and we'll capture that back. We're not going to leave that there. It's check as well. But I have done those sorts of things. Don't you worry about that. So here we've got, have we got any tricks with this? Queen is obviously looking after e1, isn't it? So can we distract her? How would you distract her? So what's the best method for play now? I think it would be sort of, like if I could play my queen there, then that would be quite a cool move, because the queen would be able to go here or something. So I think that we're going to play this move first, and then we're going to play rook down here, and the queen's too embarrassed to move there to f1 to prevent the check. Now here is my clue is driving away sacrifice. Okay, so this looks like it's pretty well drawn until you see the move, and I'm sure you can see the move, and here it comes. So if you haven't found it, look a little bit longer. That's okay with me, because all you have to do is pause. So I'm just going to give you a moment to pause it, and then I'm going to show you the distraction to black's camp is d7 check, and bishop takes knight, and from there on in, it's a clear win for white. And the white bishop can even go here, see? If the king dribbles around like here, it can sit there, but it will take these pawns. And then it's just an easy win, even though this pawn is on the wrong coloured square on h8. It's not a white square, it's a black square, which is all the difference. If you've only got that pawn and the king's in the vicinity, then this is a draw most times out of 1,000, unless the king is outside too far or something like that. So we'll continue on. Now here's elementary, so I'm not going to spend much on this because everyone can see this and this. Okay, now this one is an endgame again, and so we have to do a wee bit of working out. So what do you think you'd play? Would you play f4, or would you play h4 or g4, or maybe we could play h4 and g4 and hope for h3 and pawn marches to h1? Is that what we do? No, we don't. We move king f4 and then king here and king takes, and that's pretty final. Notice as well that the king is on the queening square check. Okay, so just notice that once this pawn's removed, it's a tempi or tempo, whatever the word is, for black. Once they move their king out the way and march this pawn, it's f1 check, which makes a lot of difference. Or just grab this pawn as well too. So onwards and upwards, and I will warn people that this is a problem, the whole thing. So this one is kind of elementary. Okay, well that's no good, is it? Queen f5. And as you can see, white is poor in pieces compared to black. Black's actually got a better position. That is until there is a weakness here on g2, but the situation here is, I believe that this will be decisive. So I don't know why he moved his rook there, or she. f3. Now this is instantaneous. See, when you do puzzles, you'll see these quickly because the puzzles just wake the brain up. This is somewhat elementary. This is like a Morphy game. Paul Morphy game playing amateur, or AN other, who played Morphy a lot of games. AN other is queen h4 check, and knight g3, and queen g3. So that's picked up a pawn at least, and white's king is terribly placed, and the next move will be bishop here. And there's no way, really, sensibly, to defend it once the king moves to f1 square. It's very hard after bishop there to defend e3, which e3 is looking after f2 checkmate square for the queen. Now this one. Now, this is like another one. So it's very, very quick. The thing is when you do these puzzles, you will just do them quicker and quicker and quicker. And I will tell you one thing, that Heather Wegener is doing exactly that. And her ability and her prowess is getting very, very good at the board. It's Queen h2 and Rook h6. Very thematic. Now, what's this one? What are we doing here? Well, we are going to just play pawn takes, aren't we? And then we are going to play a4. And then we're going to play rook e5. Because that was a Zugzwang or so position. Now, the only move really is, apart from g5, is, I mean, not g5 here, but is like not rook e5, king e5, g5, as hg5 is pretty final. And the king cannot get anywhere. The black king cannot come here because our king's on that square. So that's pretty good. Well done. Bishop e5 here is a point of what? Here both queens are attacked, so that's a clue. And so the clue is being said, and so here we go. Queen takes bishop. We can do that because we're swapping, but we get advantage. It's mathematically, materialistically better for black to do that way. Here we have a pinned piece. So can you see it very quickly? It's, of course, bishop d5, not queen d5, and now queen d5. And as you can see, rook e7 is possible if e d5. Next one. This is elementary as anything, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. I'm going to play this, and not bishop takes bishop, but bishop takes queen. Rook f2, we have danger, 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 danger. How do we win this? Can we win this for black? Okay, so 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I gave you the 10 seconds. So here comes the solution to this one. Okay. Rook e1 check. Now, swap. Oh no, this is no good. Look at this. Rook d1 and then a double check, bishop f3 check with the bishop and the rook simultaneously or simultaneously, depending whether I'm in America or not. There you go, or in England. Now, here is opportunity knocks for black. So what can black do now, apart from resign? Does black play knight d5 or knight f2 check and then hope for the best that the next move isn't too hard to find? What does black do now? I consider this as sort of relatively easy to see. And it is, of course, 1, 2, 3, knight f2 check, knight e2 check, knight takes rook, not rook takes rook, as then king takes knight, and white's got great chances. But that happens. So, first of all, what's going on here? Okay, what is going on here? Okay, well, I don't know what's going on here. I do know what's going on here, but this is the threat. or is it? And I'm not quite sure yet. Do I capture that? I think I will. I think I will take this. And then we take back with the knight, see? And there's no fork on d4 anymore. It's gone. The other one was, this one was the other one. If now d4, okay, then we just have rook b8, queen b8, what else? And bishop d4. So that was, if that was what the position was about. But I didn't consider it a terribly hard one. So I always have to think, what way is white going, what way is black going? So here it's elementary for anyone who plays the endgame, it's elementary, okay? So a few seconds for this one. And it is, of course, rook d6 and f4, f3, and you can see that the king cannot capture the f pawn as long as it keeps marching, of course. Continue training. Now, this is this good? Is this a good one? Yes, it is. It's pretty reasonable. It's kind of simple. I sometimes find I was looking at this move here, rook a1. I was looking at rook a1, thinking that was quite cool, but it's even more easier. It's just rook g1 and rook a1 is checkmate. Now here we have a position that looks a little bit scary at first, because black has a rook for knight, although white has 2 extra pawns. But when we look at this, we just find this, don't we? And because otherwise, if rook takes here, then knight takes d5 check, and knight takes rook, and that's the end of it. So just going forward again, so rook e3, now we're just going to go king e3, and that is the end because of that actual game, because these 2 pawns are on their own enough to win, and these 2 look after these 2, and the king's not going to let that pawn march anywhere, frankly, and that pawn can stop it anyway. So these 2 passed pawns, they just roll. Hope you know how to do them because they're pretty simple to do them. Now here's a common thing in chess, and this is like that Grandmaster game. So that's my clue. And so it's simply, so I hope you're getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. It's queen check, and queen takes bishop, and bishop takes queen. Okay. Now what's this one? This is threatening queen h2 check. Oh, that's no good, is it? But we just see something very simple here. Just go, oh, what about your queen? And then we take your queen. Okay. And then the thing about the bishop is, the dark square bishop, is you can start putting things on white squares. I saw a grandmaster do that. It's fantastic. Now, what's this one? Knight b3. This is thematic to the other things we've been looking at. So I'm sure you can see them quite quickly now. And these are fantastic for your chess game. These are absolutely fantastic. Your chess will improve. Even when you're so good, your chess will improve even more when you do these things. It's queen check. Look at that knight. It's now we could take it with the bishop. That would be foolhardy as bishop takes queen, and black would be laughing at me, not you. And now we have queen takes and bishop takes. We've won a piece. That's still the game to be won, but we're a piece up. Now here we've got a problem with something. So I hope you can see what the problem is with black's position and black's move a6. And we could view the solution, but I'm not going to do that. 5 seconds. So I've seen I'm up to 45 minutes and counting. We have first queen takes, and then knight c7 check, and knight a8. Hope you saw that. Now we have a queen check. So we're going to have to do something about it. We're not going to play rook g7. So we know we have to play queen takes queen. We're not going to do anything else. And now we have rook g2 check and rook a2. What is this? What is this? This is getting into the sort of position I like. So what I'm going to do is, it's reasonably relatively easy, I think. I think it is. I won't show you necessarily yet, but I think it's just this, isn't it? Is this it? Rook d8, and there's no knight f8, is there? Because the rook takes the king. So here, and we're just going to take that, I think. We'll just take that, eh? And the king has to capture. Nothing else can do anything. Continue training. Rook d2. So this rook is quite loose, isn't it? It's quite loose. And it's defended by the queen and the knight. This knight can move away, can't it? Because there's no queen g7 checkmate, as bishop takes queen is embarrassing to white. So that might have something to do with it, I think. So what if we just do that, okay? Let's say we go knight e4, queen takes queen. We have to do that first, and then we're looking pretty cool there, eh? Oh, is this one simple or not? It's probably B plus, getting on to A grade move, but it's not necessarily. So it's a good tactic to have awareness of, and the clue is the back rank. Okay, so here we go. It's knight e2 check and knight takes. And I must admit that from the starting position, I was actually thinking of going queen c1. But I thought, no, that's not very good, because we're going to end up, it's all right, we're going to end up with a knight and a rook versus the queenie. But it's not very good. Now, the queen is pinned to the defense of the king by this queen. So, that said, we can't do anything in that regard. So, this is getting my brain tingling. I'm starting to. I think that first move is this and this, but it was a little bit more of a hurdle to jump over that one. Black has just played bishop g5. I've just got to burp, so I'll just pause the sound. I could have paused the video and not told you, but it's all part of the makeup of what I'm doing here. Can we checkmate that king? And or can we do something else? Okay. So it's pretty well the idea. So it involves a fork. And I'm not sure if black plays the best follow-up, but we're going to play this move. F5 check, knight g7, knight e8. I don't think that was the best continuation. We've got a rook in our camp, f1. Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Now, what do we do now with the drunken sailor? It's very easy to see it. Once you see it, it's pretty simple. So what do you think? It's 2 checks and you're out, mate. 2 checks and you're out. It's knight e7 check and queen h5 checkmate. These things occur on the chessboard. Don't you worry about that. These things really occur. Now, and I don't mean they really do occur. They really occur on the chessboard. Here is elementary. It's just queen h3 and rook h3. Now, what's this one? Mr. Granger. This is something to do with these things here and this thing here. Okay. So what can you see? What's the problem with black's move rook h8 to e8? And of course, it is the horse, of course. A horse of a course. And here we've got the queen next move, see? This one is overloading. And so we have an overloading problem. So this is what I'm trying to say. And like Heather necessarily hasn't done what I've said, but she's found out that doing problems or puzzles has helped her chess prowess. She's starting to see things that she didn't see before, put it that way, on this chess channel and other as well. Obviously, she will watch real chess players. But this is what is so good about this. So now we have an overloading problem. So can you find what's wrong with white's queen a4 to a6 move? And it is simply, and so if you wish to pause, you can do that. It's simply rook b1. And now there's no other move other than queen f1 to stop the check other than rook takes rook. And then we just have queen takes. Because the king couldn't come to h2 because the queen was on d6. So I hope you can visualize that. So the next one is, and I will check the time. I'll do it for an hour. I'll just say an hour of chess. This is easy. Bishop d5 check, knight e7, knight takes. Okay, and you can look at these sorts of things in a book too. You can just do them just wherever you are, on a bus or a train or a plane, and you can just look at these things anytime. Now, this is easy. I consider it an easy one. What has happened after a2 to a3? What's happened in the white position? What's actually occurred? Okay, so it's done something for the queen I'm talking about. It's done something for the queen. So stay alert. It is, of course, the queen is now undefended. So can we check the king? Because a check means that the queen hasn't got to, we're going to check here. But that's not the right one. The right one is knight d3 check, and then queen takes queen. On to the next one. This is looking pretty interesting, to say the least. So what do we do here? We first play the move, which I thought of straight away, but it was just playing with my head a little bit. And now we go king back here. Because these pawns are actually quite strong, really, aren't they? Imagine if our king was back here and this pawn was here, then this pawn is going to queen. Continue, or take the rook, if you get what I mean. So here, what have we got here? Sometimes these vary in what you're to look for. So that said, it's not always checkmate. It's not always. This is what they do in puzzles. They give you different circumstance situations and all that sort of thing. Looks pretty bad for white, if I dare say it. But then we find this move here, okay? Rook here, and that's it. And it's still a wee bit of a wriggle, isn't it, really? I mean, I don't think after c3 that it's exactly easy, really, but I mean, I don't even know. My brain's getting a wee bit tired, I think. But I think we'll, I just think that this position here, it's still possible for black to go on with c3, but I'm not looking at it any further. Here is elementary stuff, so we're not going to spend much time on this. Rook here, rook takes, king takes, and this pawn marches. Right, what's this one? This, obviously, we're going to lose our rook, aren't we? Because we want to take this bishop, don't we? And then we're going to get rook takes rook. Oh dear, that's no good. So this is thematic with the other ones as well, which is, of course, queen comes here to attack the bishop, and if knight d4 before, then just simply knight d4, and we still threaten queen takes bishop, not pawn takes as rook takes rook. And now we just have queen takes bishop, and that's that one. Next one is, this is looking, it's a wee bit harder. So I'm going to pause this. I won't pause it. I'll just try to be quiet. You might hear me breathing. So how does black continue here? This is getting into nice sort of ideas, but still very good to know. So the sequence is the following. First of all, we have the rook check, okay? And then, what next? Oh dear, what do we do now? Okay, what do we do now? Take the queen? Go rook check? No, we go queen check here. And now we could go queen takes queen, couldn't we? No, we don't. We go rook h1 check, drive in away sacrifice, and queen takes queen. What's this one? Knight e4. This is this is a bit elementary, but that's okay. It's good for me because I need elementary, because otherwise I just, what did I do now? It wasn't very nice. I gave my opponent checkmate when I didn't have to. So that's why I'm saying about Susan Polgar. I might have not said it. She says, always look at what your opponent is doing. c5 check. And that was attacking the queen. So the queen's gone there because she doesn't want to get eaten on d6. And then we have bishop here, and that's sort of finished. Even if knight takes bishop, we can just go knight takes here, and it's still going to be, and d5's no good, as everyone knows, other than bishop takes pawn, everyone knows that this is en passant, and anyway, this can be attacked anyway with the knight and the rook. Anyway, g6. It's really starting to occur to my brain that I know a lot of tactics. No wonder I get told that I'm tactical. So here we're going to go queen g8 check, and then we're going to go rook check to the queen. This one, this is elementary. It's f6 check, and queen takes queen, and of course if c1, then to a queen, we'll make it a queen, eh? Then we can just take this, or we can look at other things instead, but We can just take this, take, and king up to h2. It's final. Bishop there, and here, what is the problem with this? This is simple to see for me. I hope you see it. It involves a double attack. So here comes the sequence of moves. Bishop takes e5, and queen here, and queen takes. As white was threatened with queen a1, queen takes, knight. Wins a piece, at least. Here is something I like doing. This is kind of okay. It's not brilliant. It's bishop takes check. Now we check the king, and then we take the bishop. I must be playing too much chess, eh? Now this is a special situation for black. I'm sure black did not like this game, and black is 2-4-3-2. So I'm sure that they might have been in time trouble or might have been asleep. Just king here is check, and rook takes, king takes the rook. Here we have the elementary again, which is queen a4 check, and queen e4. Next we have, this is quite cool. What is the next move for black or white, or black or white? This reminds me of my game. So the other day I placed on this channel. So it's pretty simple. Even though it leaves our queen as white on pre, it is of course rook g7 and rook g1. And thereby the queen has to more or less capture the rook. And it's pretty easy from there on. And even if this pawn marches to e3, we can just, if we want, go to knight d3 to knight e1. And be careful not to let that pawn get rook f1 check sort of thing. And rook takes, even though it's no good. So we're at the 62-minute mark now. And here is black's way to get back into the game with, of course, rook b1 and bishop takes. Now, there are some puzzles I've done that I didn't follow through with them. I just thought, oh, well, it's obvious. Black's won. Black's a piece up now. Now, this is probably quite cool to after school. There's a few lines here. There's a few lines here I like to play for white. And I might get this one wrong. Who knows? I might get this one wrong. I'm thinking of this one here. Actually, I'm not sure about that one. If I go knight here, queen check. Or we can go knight here, but then, yeah, no. Oh, this is causing me a little bit, this is just a little bit more complicated, but it's probably basic. I'm going to do this, and then after queen c5, oh no, not queen c5. Actually, you know what I was going to do after queen c5? Well, obvious, one thing I can do is knight d4, but I was also going to play bishop here. And after knight takes bishop, looks pretty scary, is queen d8 checkmate. So that's what I was going to do. And of course the knight's untouchable by the queen on c5 because the bishop's defending it. And the other thing is that the knight can come back and it's check anyway. So it's quite good. I'm glad I got that right. And did I work it out? I haven't finished it yet, have I? bishop c6, and what one do we take? Take the rook. That was lucky. Now this is easy. So it's f5 check, and rook takes. Continue training. I don't know how long I'll keep going. Elementary Dear Watson. We've got rook check. Have we got rook check first? Yeah, we have. And then we'll just take the queen, I think. But there were a few things in there more than meet the eye. And so here is pretty simple, I think. Is queen h6 check, knight f6, and yeah, white can let the exchange go, but black's having to look after the queen first of all, and so white's just going to be 2 pieces for the rook at least. So here's just an intermediate move, bishop e6 check and rook d1. An intermediate move, i.e. it's a check. Bishop takes bishop. If we took the rook first, then I would have failed, not you. You wouldn't have failed. This is a 5 minute and 5 second rapid game. I didn't know that was a rapid. So this is elementary. Black has just played where from? Where did black play from? Queen f4, but where did they play from? Oh, a4, that's right. So what do you do here for white? You go, of course, queen check. And queen takes. Continue. Now, knight c4. What's happening here? There is a weakness here in black's camp. Can you find it? And so I'm sure you can see that this, in normal circumstances, is queen h7. So that's the wee hint. So what do we do here? We win material. There's nothing wrong with winning material as knight d7. And now the knight is in a dilemma. What does it do? Does it capture? No, because of queen h7 checkmate. But otherwise, if the queen moves somewhere, let's say it just moves here or whatever, then it's pretty bad, isn't it? Because just knight f6 check, and then queen h7 checkmate. So that will be the next move regardless, because it's check with the knight. So either it gets captured, or you move out of the way, or you don't. Your opponent does. Sorry, must get it right, mustn't I? Here we've got a check. And, oh no, we're going to lose our queen. Oh no, my queen. Shall we move queen here? No, we don't. We play bishop check, and now we take the queen. Bishop c4. Now, what would you play here? This is reasonably, if I'm right, this is reasonably hard. So what do we do next for black? And the clue is this is defended once by the knight. So we have this move here, I think, and then bishop takes. And we are clearly in a better position. Still work to do, or whatever we call it. Continue, rook f1. Now we can see that that this is really hard for the queen, And so this is one that I think is a mistake, and we're going to lose for white until we see something. So what do you see that we can do here for white? We can do a driving away sacrifice with, of course, rook f7 check and queen c1. Otherwise, it was rook takes rook or queen takes rook. Now, here is the queen is just gone queen c3. I don't know why. And yeah, I don't understand this one. It's seemingly simple. Is it simple? Simple, simple? Simple, simple? Bishop c4 check, and here we have a thematic sort of setup for black, of course. So what do we do next with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? How do we get the drunken sailor? I am not meant to be singing. And what do we do now? I think the first move will be knight c1. Then we have to find the tactic, which sometimes is not always easy to find. Is it knight c1 check first anyway? Is it knight c1 there? Yeah, it's knight c1 there. Or is it something else? See, sometimes I'm looking at the real hard stuff and they are looking at just the simple stuff. Knight c1 check. Then the king goes to, if it goes to b1, if it goes to a1, then we can just take that pawn, can't we? Okay, so I'm going to go knight c1. I'm just going to see what... Oh, what? Why'd they do that? I would have played... I'm probably missing something really basic, eh? So, anyway, I'm going to take the queen now. I'm getting tired, I think. I am getting tired. Tired of all this. So we've got... what do we got here? This is getting quite cool. This is quite cool. So what do you do next? Well, actually, it's a bit more easier than I thought because I was looking at rook e7 check, but I think there's something simpler, and it is, of course, rook g6 and rook g2. And it's a bit of a job winning that sort of endgame. Here is just, well, could say just. It's just a situation with, is it skewer or something like that? So it's a check. So where's the check? The check is here. Queen b6 check and queen takes rook. Now, this one is, now black is threatening pawn takes queen or gh5. So that will not do. We're not very happy about that. So this is the sort of position I like getting in chess. I like getting these positions. We're going to do something very simple and elementary. We're going to go bishop g6, and then we're going to go rook g6, and black's decided to resign. Then bishop d6, and here we have have we got a dilemma for black? So can you see what happens next? Can you see what happens? I hope you can. These sorts of things occur at the chessboard, and it's the name of the game. I was looking around for a B pawn, if you get what I mean, like on B3. But it's not that. You ready? Set, check, mate. King F3 to... now this is quite difficult, isn't it? Might be, and it might not be. And so I think I'm going to give you 10 seconds for this while I turn the volume off. Okay, so are you ready for this one? This is one of the better ones. Rook check, bishop check, rook takes, h2. So it's very important to know endgames. It really is. Here is, well, I think that this move here looks pretty good. Now, here is overloading. So can you find the sequence for white here to win material? So that's my clue. It is coming up. It's a knight check to the queen, and a knight captures the queen with check, and then rook takes rook. I might do a few more, I'm not sure. Here we have an overloading problem. Overloading. So what's the problem? Of course it's rook to e1 check, and queen takes queen, and pawn takes. They tricked me because they played another move. That can worry me. Here we have a simple win of material. These things occur. It is queen e8, queen e7, and then we can capture the bishop next move. Also, rook d2. So if queen d2, then the knight moves probably. So what white here does first is lift this, because this is the queen it's attacked, and then we just take the rook. Here is elementary, a little bit twisty, a wee bit of a twist, but we first play bishop takes, rook takes, not the other way around, because if we go the other way around, then black can merely capture the rook on e7, and now we capture the rook, and therefore on in there we have to still win this game, and it's still a little bit of difficulty, but probably just knight d2. Continue training. Here we've got a nice move here. What's your move here? Knight b6, knight f6, knight b6, knight f6. Right, quiet, Dave. What's your move here? It is coming up knight c3 and knight d1 check and rook d1. So next on the agenda is this bishop is not very good looking, is it? So this is kind of elementary, because it involves a check. So we go knight c5 first, then knight d3 check, and we can move our queen next move. Bishop d6, and then what have we got? This is probably why I'm good at lightning chess, because I can see them quickly, whereas the other stuff I can't. Ha ha. This is involving the win of a piece. It's easy to see this bishop biff. Okay, and then pawn takes, and the bishop has nowhere to fly within reason. Here is, see, I'm just seeing weaknesses on the back rank, and I'm seeing the position here with rook e5, rook e4, rook e4, queen e4, rook e4, knight f2 check. Okay, so we're going to do this. Hopefully they do this all. We'll do this then. But I was looking at something a wee bit more deeper with something on e4 and knight f2 check and knight takes. Continue. Here's another one like last time. And so if we take this pawn on e6, what's the move for black? So this is like last time, by the way. So this is like the other mate on, was it A1 or something with the king right up and G3 or something like that. This is similar to that, but we're looking for, David's looking for the real technical ones. But I'm going to answer you the first question, which is what happens if king e6? Is rook d6 check. And there we have, after king takes, what else? We have rook f7. And, yeah, we have rook. And I've still got in my head another rook to throw to d8 and then take the rook. And I win a rook and I'm a rook up. But that would be if I had 3 rooks. And I haven't. So that's what happens. So here we've got just rook f8 check and rook f8 checkmate. What is here, David? What is here? We've got this diagonal thing happening. And we've also got a back rank. Okay? But we've got something also a little bit simple. And it's a discovery. So it is, of course, just lift. Stop trying to find the hard stuff. Queen takes queen. So I'm always trying to find the hard stuff. Here is something very important in chess. And to know this in chess will help your chess a lot. Is that knights are feeble defenders of passed pawns. So we have just simply this, and this, and this, and it's finale. There's no way for that knight to get there, see? It's terrible. What a terrible defender is a knight against passed pawns. So here we've got the rook is pinned to the defense of the king. And I might be missing something again anyway. So I'm probably going to go straight away into rook check. Queen check. And now we've got rook here, of course. But otherwise, if queen g8, then we had queen f6 check. And this battery is very strong. Rook h7. So how many more should I do? I'll do till an hour and 30. I don't know, I might not. This is simple, simplistic. But these things are really good for your chess, even though it's just like, practicing on the piano. All that sort of stuff. I mean, like, when you're doing it, you think, I don't do it myself. I don't play the piano. I try. I just have a bit of fun on the piano. But that's all what practicing is all about, is to be able to bring it all together. Just like practicing to drive. When you learn to drive, you don't just get told, this is how you drive this, and just go for it. You get to learn these things individually, like, first of all, put your seatbelt on. Get in the car, sit down in that seat. Yes, that seat. And then put your seatbelt on. Put the key in the ignition. Start the car. Do you know how to start the car? Where do you want to go? What do you least like about driving? What's the biggest fear you've got? My driving instructor said to me. I said, oh, that's easy. And I lived in Dunedin, of course. I said, hills, what else? So he said, guess what? I said, what? He said, because I wasn't, thinking very clearly. He said, you know where we're going to go? We're going to go to Highcliffe. I go, you've got to be joking. I'm not going to go to Highcliffe. I'm not driving to Highcliffe. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we did. But back to the point is that, and this is puzzle DNIZN. So this is like Dunedin, New Zealand, backwards, that sort of thing. So that said, here comes this one is, I moved the whole thing. We've got rook, g2 check, bishop takes rook. But the thing is you learn just by seeing this and repeating things, and that's the thing. Here we've got elementary stuff. Rook b4, knight c7, rook e6. What do we do here? I don't know. This is a nice one, and so I'm going to just be quiet for a few seconds. So I'm quiet for a few seconds. Now, the move is what? What do you think we can play here? The king is not able to be checkmated. We can't checkmate the king. But hang on. But what about this rook? Both on the same rank as each other. But this rook could come back here, sort of thing. But what can we do here? It's this move here. Check. Because we're threatening rook a1 checkmate. And then we go rook check here, and we take the rook. Hey, was that good? Now, knight e4. Here we have a situation that reminds me of a match game I played. So what do you play now? It involves the back rank and also the win of material. It is, of course, rook check and bishop here and rook check. And I mean, like, this is still a game for black. Black's still in the game. Black can still continue. It's not like it's a lost game, is it? So here, after c5, not c7 to c5, but c6 to c5, we have queen takes, and then queen takes. Is it queen takes first, or is it queen check, or what is it? Because queen takes obviously threatens g7 and h8, threatens queen takes rook. So what can black do for defense to that is, of course, queen f6. Then what? Then we can go queen f6 and knight f6 and d6, threatening bishop takes rook. And then when the knight moves out to c6, we've got something there that, can you visualize what's going on there? Is we've got, after knight c6, we could go bishop c6. And then what's happening then is we can go after dc6, we can go rook f6. I know, it sounds like I'm doing a bit too much chess, doesn't it? So we've got queen g7 check to the rook. Queen takes, d6, bishop c6, rook f6. But black is still in the game. Here is back to the thematic part of things, I think. Although, yeah, they are, but it's a wee bit of a twisty one because black might get met with knight b4 after this check here. Queen check. No, they didn't. But we could play knight b4 here because it's check. But here we just play queen takes knight, and I've gone over the hour and a half, and knight takes. Okay, I didn't get any wrong, Dad. That's quite good. I hope you enjoyed that session. I hope I gave you some opportunity to look at it and to be able to find the continuations. And of course, you can pause the thing. I will say that in the actual write-up sort of thing. So if I go up here, can I go up here? No. Can't do that. Okay, bye for now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Know that you are very, very, very important and very, very special. Thank you. Bye for now.